Okay, it is November 29th, 2025. This is a Project Blue update. Actually, I think this is update number 8. Yeah, it's been 2 months, and that's a very long time in real life. So a lot has happened, and I haven't had a chance to work on Project Blue for a while, so I apologize for that. And a lot of life changes, a lot of life problems, and all kinds of nightmares. Hopefully they're going to be defeated one by one. Hopefully, by the grace of God. Amen. Okay, so let's see what we got on the agenda today. We have completely changed the architecture for the rendering engine. And we have a new network compression scheme that works hand in hand with that. So it's pretty amazing because over Wi-Fi, you can get up to about 80 frames or 85 frames per second. I've seen it higher than this, depending on the workload and things like that. So before we were getting like maximum 9 frames per second at 16-bit, 16 million colors with that switchover. And we used to get 24 frames at 8-bit. But now, even the 16-bit gets, very, very high frame rates, whatever you need. So it's per the application. It depends what you're doing. If you're playing games, it's very high FPS depending on what the game needs. Oh yeah, we have games in Project Blue now. We have about 4 of them, so hopefully you'll like that. Yeah, so it's really, really good. It's compared to what it was before. And it tries not to saturate the network, so if you're not doing much, it's not going to update as much. So we have an updated text editor. So the old text editor has TrueType fonts now and full edit functions. So find, replace, copy, cut, blah, blah, blah. We have an updated music player. Hope you're going to like that. And I hope to get this stuff in the hands of people very soon so you can beta test it and play with it and stuff. But I don't know if that's possible. I don't know how that's going to work. It seems kind of strange. I'm being blocked at all sides, so it's like they don't want people to have this stuff. Yeah, we've added, like I said, 4 games. More kind of like old style games back to retro kind of thing to start off with, but that we can do that over the Wi-Fi. It's pretty amazing. We've added a basic IDE that we talked about from update 7. We said that was coming, and we have it now, and it works. And we have full access to all the board functions: GPIO, PWM, IC2, Wi-Fi, touch sensors, and even the onboard LEDs and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So it's pretty amazing. You can actually program in BASIC within the desktop now on the board. So it's pretty amazing. And yeah, of course, we have our own Project Blue calculator now. You got to see that. It's still a work in progress, but yeah, I mean, what kind of a desktop can you have without a calculator, right? When you think of Windows 95 without a calculator, that would suck. So, and on the browser side, we updated the client station with WebGL acceleration and multiplex stuff. So we went from, a really kind of taxing design to a more efficient design with the help of the tools. And so that's pretty good. But I missed one thing here. I should type. Let's see. What else did we do? File Explorer. I just spelled it right. It's BL Explorer. Got a Wi-Fi server update. Right? Again, my fat fingers. Update. So what does that mean? Well, I'll show it to you. But basically, by putting a button on the File Explorer that you can activate like a server on the board, you can actually download files from your computer, because you can put an IP of the board in your browser, and it pulls up a page, and you can download files from your computer to the SD card, right? Soon to the flash as well, but right now to the SD card. And from the SD card, you can copy files to your computer. So you have to ever touch that SD card or swap it and take it out and put it in and move it around. And we were talking about this stuff, right? We're talking to, this is what we wanted WebDrive to be and all that. Well, guess what? We got it, and it's working. So I can't wait to show you guys all this stuff. So let's get started here. So what are we going to start off with first? Full screen. Oh, full screen is really full screen now. So it shows you how much PS RAM you got free. Right now, 5.8 megabits. And if your SD card is working or not, that's very important. So let's start with the text editor, I guess. You can't see the FPS, but I gotta tell you, it's crazy. It is crazy fast. It is crazy efficient, stable, and fast. Okay, so let's type now. Let's go anti-alias font. So you got 3 options now. You got classic, you got modern, and you got AA. So let's say welcome. That looks kind of weird. Okay. Welcome to the updated project. Did it. Not doing a very good job here, guys. Okay. It's an external keyboard. So, before we couldn't do this, right? We couldn't do TrueType fonts and things like that. So now, if you go to classic mode, your text is it's updated to the classic, right? And if you go to modern, this is what it looks like. It's pretty cool. And now you got 3 options. I still can't change the sizes, but we'll add that. It's a working project. But that we can do this in the text editor now is amazing. It's pretty amazing. I chose this font. We could embed as many fonts as we have space. So we have space. But I just wanted to put 3 to show that we can actually do anti-alias fonts now. On this $5 board on ESP32S3. This is the board outputting this desktop, right? In real time. It's not coordinates. It's actually making this desktop, right? And doing all this stuff. This is the board. This is the ESP32S3 doing this. And my browser is basically displaying it at a very high FPS. That is freaking amazing. So let's switch to classic mode. We're going to do this now. So before we couldn't highlight, right? Edit, cut. Amazing. And then we're going to go edit, paste. So all these functions work now. Let's find, if we go here, so you can click anywhere on the screen and your cursor will follow. Before you couldn't do that. You can also use the function, the arrow keys on your keyboard. So those were not mapped before. It was very limited, right? We're trying to get the system going. So now if I go, let's say find, and let's say I want to say project. Alright, and I hit enter. There we go. So the reason it's not finding is because it's all uppercase. P-O-J-E-C-T. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, found it. Okay. So basically all these functions actually work. So if I go replaced, well, I'll click here. Oh, let's get out of here for a second. I go replace, and I gotta fix this pop-up. It's not. I gotta wrap the text and stuff. But I'm just eager to show this even itself, But well, so let's put this stuff here. Sorry about that. Let's say find. We don't want to do project, right? We want to do something else. You know what? Let's just restart. So if I go classic, so let's go replace, right? So we're gonna replace is with not. Okay. So we just replaced it. So these functions do work, and my idea, it's gonna sound kind of strange, but and all these things do work. I'm not gonna bore you with it, it's kind of boring, right? But this is from the ESP32S3, guys. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So here's the thing. Now that we can get TrueType fonts working, I want to be able to make this like Microsoft Word almost, right? And not as powerful, obviously, not the same, not all the functionality. This is a microcontroller, so, but some more functions to make it kind of cool. So basically, expand the functionality on this, and all these functions do work. For example, if you go open, there's that Wi-Fi server I was talking about. All these things do work, right? Absolutely do work. So let's open this guy. That's what was in that guy. So let's open, I don't know, this guy. That was what is in this that text file. So it does work, right? It does work, and you can resize, move it around at a very high speed if you need it. So that's good. So there's your text editor. JPEG viewer I'm still working on, but it's accelerated by WebGL now. So well, the whole desktop is accelerated by that. But yeah, it's really fast. I mean, it's just incredible. So there you go. There you go. And that is, let's see if we go back here. So we talked about the architecture, we showed the FPS, the text editor. We're going to go to the music player next, but I'm just going to stop the video here for a sec. And stop. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so let's continue. So we showed you the updated text editor very quickly, because I don't want to make this video very long. I want to go through things really fast, because there's a lot of stuff to show. I mean, this is a massive. The last update was massive to 16-bit, but now this is even more massive. Updated music player. Okay, so let's go here. Oh, we're still connected. Okay, so audio player. So right away you can see that it looks different, right? So load some music. Let's go AC/DC. And stop actually stops the music now. So I mean, this is a giant update from what it used to be, the old music player, right? Looked pretty boring and stuff like that. You still have your new load button here, right? And it brings up the file explorer, so you have full functionality there. But I mean, we added the bars, right? I mean, it was pretty static before. You couldn't really see those kinds of things. Now, what I want to do is build this out, make it even more cool, and also put a playlist on here, so you can make different, like, have another section here that for playlist and stuff like that. I think that's really helpful to me, and hopefully helpful to anyone that would be using this down the road, right? We're just in early development phase right now, but hopefully you can see where it's going.
To take you under control.
So yeah, I mean, it's it's like the difference between night and day, right? So that's the updated music player. And full screen mode now actually takes up the whole screen. Before you saw it like it was not the whole screen, right? While we're connected, we'll stay connected. You can see when nothing is happening, the FPS is very low. It's actually not zero, but it's very, very low. But when activity is happening, it'll shoot up with whatever it needs. And that just saves bandwidth. It's more efficient, and it allows us to do gaming. So where are we now? Oh, the games. Okay, my favorite part. So we have 4 games now. We have chess, Missile Command, Space Invaders, and Star Patrol. So the first, the middle 2, Missile Command and Space Invaders. I used to really love playing that when I had my Atari 2600 back in 1984, and I played it for quite a bit because I didn't have a lot of games. I only have a couple of games, but these two. I don't think I had Space Invaders. I definitely had Missile Command and Moon Patrol and Defender and stuff like that. So this system with the new architectural changes will allow this. And I know a lot of people will scoff and say, oh, you can't do that on the SB32S3, blah, blah, blah. Through the network, through Wi-Fi, right? You're streaming the desktop. You can't play games while on Wi-Fi. It's going to be too laggy. You're not going to be able to do it. Well, guess what? You can. Let's start off with Missile Command. So, there we go. You got three missile silos. Here comes an incoming missile. And boom, we just shot it down. Okay. And these are the houses you're protecting with the new army recruits and your girlfriends and stuff and boyfriends and all that stuff. So it's boom, take that, and it'll increase in difficulty like a standard game, But basically, what I wanted to show, like if we go here, you look at the FPS, right? It's 46 frames per second right now, and if you have a lot of missiles, I'm not going to shoot this one down. I just want you to see how smooth this is at 46 frames per second. Nice. Okay, they took out one base. Hopefully my girlfriend wasn't in there. But next level. Okay. So it'll be like obviously more missiles and stuff. And the whole idea about this is really not the game. It's to show that, that this is actually possible on the SB32 S3, right? That you can actually do these things and push the hardware to the maximum and really find clever ways of making these things happen. Because if you look at the projects that people do with microcontrollers, they don't do these things. They, turn on an LED, make a pet feeder, a people finder, whatever. I've seen like the company Expressive make like a robot, which was really cool with AI. So I haven't tapped into that AI functionality yet. Because I'm basically trying to get the basic core architecture kind of decided upon, and I really like playing this game, by the way. You can tell, right? And see how smooth the graphics are. I mean, at 46 FPS, and there's the other games that will have a much higher frame rate as well because they have more stuff happening on the screen, right? So the more activity, the higher the FPS is needed. 2 with 1, yeah, right on. Anyways, so it goes on and on. So that was Missile Command. This version is actually better than the initial version that I used to play. So Space Invaders. Now I didn't do a very good job on this. I want to improve this, and I probably will. But for now, you can play from your keyboard or you can play from your mouse, right? And it's actually, you can see the animation on the feet of the aliens and stuff. Got a little crab running around up there. Get back here, Mr. Crab. Alien crab trying to take over. That would be a very tasty treat for my dinner. Okay. Anyways, you guys get the idea. I'm not going to spend too much time playing that. So that was Missile Command, Space Invaders. And I'm going to go to Star Control now. So you can go in full screen mode, but I'll just play it as is. And you can play with the mouse, and I gotta tell you, like, you can play with the keyboard or the mouse, right? The mouse is more efficient. I'm a keyboard kind of guy, and you can see there's animation on the. I'm gonna just take them out. Okay, I lost one of the ships. You got 3 ships here. If you don't shoot, like, I'm gonna go on the side. I'm not gonna shoot. They line up like Galaga. That was the idea. You know that game Galaga from the 80s. They line up and then they start shooting you. But the whole idea about this game is to do procedurally generated aliens. So basically, the ships are different every time you play the game, right? Every time you play the game, the ships are different. So it's always fresh, right? It's not the standard same characters and same graphics and stuff. It's because it's procedurally generated. It's always different. The colors and the variations, and you can go really crazy into this. And you can go forwards, backwards, you know. And remember, this is being streamed over Wi-Fi. They're streaming this game, right, from the ESP32 stream. I mean, it's really incredible. It's real time, you know, very, very high FPS. It's like, you know, I mean, I'm just gonna stop right now. I don't want to continue because I'll take up too much time. It's too fun to play. And of course, the classic chess, right? You can't have. And I gotta fix the bottom. The bottom goes off the screen. But let's say I go. This guy, it tells you the moves, right? So let's go here. And I'm kind of new to try to figure out how to do the 3D kind of effect. This is what I got going at my first pass. But I'm trying to do like so many things at once using the tools. And there's limitations for that, right? There's limitations for what you can do all at once. And you're changing the architecture, you're you know, trying to put together games, you're fixing kind of bugs and stuff like that, and it gets very hard. But I mean, that you can play chess. Remember I talked about Kung Fu chess and about pushing the boundaries of the board and the hardware and stuff like that. Well, I'm not there at Comfy Chess yet, but we got chess. That we even have chess is a big upgrade because I haven't been able to work on this thing for more than 2 months. So just trying to basically push it there. So that's chess, Missile Command, Space Invaders, Star Patrol, and yeah, man, you know, yeah, it ain't your grandfather's board anymore, where he's just turning on his pressing a button to turn on like a light or something, you know. No, we're making procedurally generated bad guys in games and getting high FPS on the network and stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing. And of course, you have the multitasking going on, right? So let me show you for the File Explorer. We'll do that next. This is the SD card, right? So when you click root, that's the SD card. If you go into music, Music, that's what's in music. You can double click here, or you can click on here to get back. So this is the Wi-Fi server that we talked about, and the file Explorer has an upgrade, and it's pretty serious. So if I click this, let's click on the Wi-Fi server now. So what it'll do is it'll tell you the board's IP. So this is the ESP32S3, where this desktop is running on, right? So right now it's .190, right? So it says access via your PC browser. So I'm going to take this IP, and I'm just going to get out of full screen mode. I'm going to take the same browser here, and Haswell. Okay, so I'm going to type 192.168.190.190. I'm going to go here. Now, I'm going to make this page really funky. It's going to look really sexy. But this is like early days, right? And we're just getting this stuff integrated and getting it working. So this is all the files on your SD card. So if you look at your let's get out of here for a second. This is all. Oh, and we have a scroll bar now, which is very important. So 1A, 1B. So let's see. Okay, so let's go down. Yeah, B, finger C, down there. Let's see. Oh, A. Yeah, so there's two. Anyways, so I gotta fix the scroll bar. It's not perfect. It does work, but needs some work there. But let's go back to the Wi-Fi server. Right, that's very important. So access file via browser. So I'm going to get out of full screen mode. I'm going to go back here. So the Wi-Fi server on the board is serving up these files. So let's say I want to download ss.txt, right? So first of all, you right click on it, you go save link as, right? And you choose where on your desktop you want to save this thing. So this is what's on my desktop, right? So you just name the file ss.txt, name it whatever you want, and click save, and boom, you've just downloaded a file from your SD card on your board onto your desktop. It's pretty amazing. So that's the file. Print hello, go to 10. Okay. And now let's say we want to go the opposite route, and we want to, go back here. Okay, sorry about that interruption. We had some issues with our heating system. There was some smoke. Anyways, problem solved with a new battery. Okay, where were we? We were talking about, oh yeah, we just uploaded this text from the SD card off the board with point and click. Yeah, so let's go back to the board. Where are we? Connect. There we are. And I'm gonna exit the Wi-Fi server. So just to see where we are, just to make sure that is the contents of that text file. We'll go to the text editor, we'll open, and click on this guy. Oh, sorry. Yep, sure enough, that's really what it is. So that's what it is on the SD card, and that's what it is on the desktop. So on the desktop, we downloaded this guy. Right. So let's do one more. I'm gonna dump him in garbage. Let's go the other way now, and we're gonna download a file off the internet, like a JPEG, and then upload it to the board, and then use the JPEG viewer on the board to view it. So if we go here, let's go to Google. Let's go Google. Okay, so let's go. What do we want to look for? something cool, right? If you go images, some cool stuff here. I don't know. We'll choose one, right? Something really cool to view. So let's say this guy. So this guy's nice. Wow, he's a lot of stuff. Ooh, it's got that paywall. We don't want that. Let's go, let's say something else. Beautiful girl, right? Everybody loves a beautiful girl. Okay, so let's take a picture of a girl that Google think is beautiful. And, I don't know. I guess it's hard to choose because they're all beautiful. But let's do this one just for aesthetics. Let's save image as. And that AG means. That AG means according to Google. Okay, that's not me. Okay, so we download it here. Let's close this. Let's make sure on our desktop she's there. Yep, she's there. Okay, good. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go to the board. And if we go full screen, if we go File Explorer, I don't see, I just don't see a beautiful girl here. So we're going to go to a Wi-Fi server, right? We're going to go here, go to this guy. We're going to choose a file. So now you can browse your desktop. And there she is. Click on that, open, and then upload. And we're uploading to the SD card from your computer. Right? So now I see B-girl right here. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to exit. And full screen again. Let's go to the root, and there she is. So we've just uploaded a file off the internet to your desktop. From the desktop, we dropped it into your SD card on your board using Project Blue File Explorer. How quick, easy, painless was that? No commands or nothing like that. So now, let's go to our JPEG viewer. Let's through our JPEG files. You know what? I don't think that was a JPEG because we can only decode JPEGs. Is that a JPEG? Yeah, it's a JPEG. So properties, JPEG. You know what? Let's go. I think it's a size issue. Probably too big. So how can we resize? Resize image. Oh, it's too huge. There's no way. There's no way we could have. There's no way. 640. Oh, let's do percentage. 30, let's do 28%. Save. Desktop. Save. Yeah. So how small is it? It's small. Okay, so let's go to our desktop. Sorry about all this, guys. I've never actually done the image thing before at that size. It's always smaller things. Okay, so we're gonna take this girl. We're gonna delete her. Bye bye. You're too big. Okay. Delete. Yes. Gone. Boom. Okay. Back to Wi-Fi server now. Wi-Fi server mode. Okay. So we're gonna go there. We're gonna choose the smaller version, the scaled down version. Upload. Because there's still lots of stuff we need to do. So it should have been uploaded. So if we go here and exit and hit this. Yep, she's there. Okay, good. So hopefully we can display her now. JPEG. I'll do a file picker. Should have picked it up. I wonder. Oh, I know why. Aha. I've just found a bug in my code. It preloads it loads the files for the JPEG when it loads the computer. When it loads the board. So if I just close this. Oh, that's a bug. That is a big bug. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to refresh the board, turn it off, turn it on, and connect. So it makes a list of the files there. Yeah, it's a bug. It's a big bug. Well, image too large. So that's her right there. Yeah, I can't display it because it's too large. I'll say image too large. It tries, but it's gonna stutter. It's not gonna. Yeah, it's too large. Okay, so let's scale it down some more. So let's scale it down. So image resize. Oh yeah. It's. It's 640 by 480, right? So this is just too large. So if you go percentage, you go 50. Save. This will work. Okay. So now if I do this, and I go prop file info, and I go 33, yep. So it's within the bounds of what we can display on the frame browser, on the file JPEG file editor. So let's go full screen. Let's go File Explorer. Let's delete her again. Wow, this poor girl's been deleted twice. It's like you're swiping left or something. That's not good. Okay, so got the server on. Let's try uploading her again. Choose a file from your computer to upload to the board. Open, upload. Oh, we found a bug. Very good. Okay. So, exit, root. There she is. Okay, so maybe now if I go. There she is. Wowzers. Yeah, so we just pulled an image off the internet, or if you have an image files on your computer, like image of your kids, your family, your dog, your pet, whatever, and we're able to drop it from your computer to the board with a few clicks, and that was the whole idea, right? That's the whole idea. So, but I found a bug. Okay. Let's exit full screen. What else do we got? Okay, so that's the File Explorer Wi-Fi server update, and we skipped the basic IDE. Oh yeah, we got that running. So let's take a look at that right now. It's a full screen. So if you go to System, let's wait for this thing to. If you go to System, you have System Tests, which we demonstrated before. Right, that was new in update 7. We can do DMA testing, Wi-Fi connection test, ping test. Let's just do them all right now. So that's your signal strength. DMA memory, it's at 366. It's actually a little higher, but it's your ping test, pretty crappy. Network speed test, because we're streaming on the bandwidth, right? Now, if you guys remember, if you go back to the old video, this was low, right? This was low, and it was low because we were plugging the network with the frames, right? With the video. Now you can see how more efficient the board is at compressing and sending that. The new architecture that we have, it's much better. And this is the same because it's the same. Basically the SPI bus, right? That connects the flash to the board and connects the PS RAM to the board. So we're saturating it because we're doing a lot of work on it, and it's not going to have much left. This is what's left. So and you can do specific tests. You don't have to do them all, right? So we've already done this, but now we have this, and I talked about this, right? So now we can actually write basic code, right? So I'm gonna make it blink like 7 times. Oh, not 57 times. 7 times. This is just the demo code that comes with it when you load it up, and you can execute it. I've stopped the execution. You can load. You can open your files from your SD card and your basic programs and load it in with a point-and-click interface. So basically, what this one does, you have your print command. So this is where you have your messages and things like that. But I put a new pop-up in there with the help of the tools, and we're able to show you now. When you say print, when you go system Wi-Fi IP, you'll get the IP. So from basic, you can get your IP, right? Which is your board IP, which is awesome. You can get your heap by doing system calls, right? Your heap size. You can write to the pins, and you can blink your LEDs like analog writes and stuff. It's pretty amazing. So let's give it a run. And I know you can't see my board right now, but the blue light is flashing. And so that's your IP. That's your heap size in real time. It blinks your LED, and you can pause it, right? You can pause it. So you can pause execution, and I think that's very important for troubleshooting. So this thing is really powerful. And if we go to here, what you're able to do is not just read and write from the GPIOs and access your peripherals, like touch sensors and things like that. But, I mean, you can write very complex basic programs. And the reason I chose basic, I mean, it's microcontroller, easier than C to learn, right? So if you have a child that's interested in writing programs for the ESP32 or anything that runs on Project Blue, then it's very simple to do it. But more so, if you're a scientist and you just want to collect data, right? And make a small test program. It's very simple to do it. It's easy to learn basic. You can learn it within, in less than half an hour. You can learn the basic syntax, and by making it so simple to get system calls and to do things with a point-and-click interface where you can save your program, load it back up, right, and then execute it from an IDE within the desktop. That's very powerful for a microcontroller, for an IoT device where it's point-and-click. That's really what this is all about. And you can aggregate different boards and things like that. So we'll have another button here where you can do go out and search for a board clone. So I'll have a board clone button, and you'll click that, and the whole board clone interface will come up, and basically you can clone a board and then remotely control it from Project Blue, right? You can do reads from the analog to digital to analog, and so on. You can collect data from sensors. You can access the camera. You can do all sorts of stuff. But I mean, this is really quite incredible. That we can do these things. And the pause feature, I think, is mandatory, because troubleshooting, it's like setting a breakpoint almost, right? But you're doing it manually. It gives you more control, and that's the idea. But the control is not, you don't have to learn like 10,000 lines of code or 10,000 commands and memorize. No, it's point and click, and that's how it should be. I think that's just my take on it. And of course, the Windows is resizable. That we have a full-fledged basic IDE now. It's really, really incredible. Just to show you that this is really a real thing, right? I'm going to remove the test program, and sorry, it's really kind of big. You know what? It's going to take too long. Let me open a small program. There's that SS guy. I think there's a little program in there. So print hello, go to 10. Right. Nice. So, I mean, it does work. It's a real basic, it's really, it's a real thing. It's not bullshit. Oh, I think I found a little bug too. Okay, so we showed you now the basic ID, and so this is going to become very important, because I'll expand the menu to have board clone and all the board clone features, and I'll make it nicer. Like right now, it's it's just early days, and it's just focused on functionality. But the core of the effort here was more in the underlying architecture and subsystem, because we couldn't do things like this, right? Music. So we couldn't do heavy graphics and things like that before.
The power to take you under control.
Like these music bars, right? Like I couldn't do that before. It was stuttering. Like the old architecture couldn't take it. So it was finding clever ways to make this happen. And now it allows for these games, right? And I mean, geez, man, what's the FPS on here? 46. I capped it because I don't want it to go to 86. It's too much. You're clogging the network. Up to like 44, 45 is good enough for the games. Now, as the games get more complex, we'll revisit that. But for now, you don't need more than 45 frames per second for Missile Command from from the 80s, right? So I wanted to start out with games that I loved as a kid, in the 8-bit world, and of course it's 16-bit, but funky it up some and just move from there, because I've never done this before, and the tools are invaluable, right? I can't really craft things without the tools, without the right tools. But that, this is, rock solid, and it's coming from the network, from the board. The DSP can actually do this over the network. Now, if I did it locally and just put it out of VGA and then HDMI, you can get like 150 frames per second on a simple game like this. More complex games, you'll drop down to like maybe 80 frames. And very complex, maybe 25 to 30 frames, like really complex. But you don't really, it's not a game engine, and it's not what it's meant for. You're just trying to, basically kind of push it to its limits and see what we can do with this thing. So that we can actually do games now over the network, I think it's incredible. So let's go ahead. So yeah, it's not the best games, but you can go full screen. It's still pretty amazing, right? So and of course the old chest that we just did. Played chess on the ESP32S3 graphical chess. So this really makes it powerful, right? Because you can write programs to control the peripherals, and I think the DSP is a microcontroller. That's what it's really all about. It's really all about controlling these things, right? So we do have a little bit of being deleted a third time. It's terrible. We do have like sort of a beginner's manual for the basic thing, but I don't want to look for it right now. But these are the functions, and I'm going to add more functions, right? And make it really super duper simple. So I've already demonstrated the Wi-Fi server. You can basically WebDrive, right? You can basically, it's a reality now. You can upload files from your board to your computer, and from your computer to the board. Now, I started off with G Drive, with Google G Drive, and I had it almost working, but the problem is, and I could do it, but with the help of the tools. But the issue is, they change their refresh code all the time, and you have to get a key, and that key dies every so often, and it's so complicated to enable it that if it's complicated for me to enable that function, you have to go into their API control panel, and there's all kinds of stuff you got to do. Like, it's going to be very complex for users, and it's going to cause a lot of problems, and then it's going to stop working all of a sudden, right? It'll block access and all that. So I don't want to have that headache just to access Google Drive. All you're trying to do is move a file or a number of files from one place to another. That's all. So why make it complicated when you can make it super duper simple? And a Wi-Fi server does that, right? It doesn't matter if you're trying to put audio files onto your board, so basically for your playlists or for your music directory, because we got a really funky music player now, and we're just going to make it funkier. Or you want to put some pictures of your kids or your family or your pet or your hobby, whatever, or whatever, right? Hopefully it's not porn. But honestly, like, it should be very, very simple in this day and age, and that's what Project Blue does. It really makes things simple, but with the addition of the basic IDE, we should go back here when we talk about things, right? The basic IDE, it really, this is just a test program, right? Like it's really the start of something really cool, I think. A lot of older folks really have an affinity to BASIC because they grew up with it, and that's why I did this. And I would love for my kids to take an interest in learning how to do BASIC, but they're too busy with other things probably. But it's a good entry point, and for someone who wants to build something to capture data in a file, right? It shouldn't be complicated, and it shouldn't cost a fortune. You can buy an ESP board, right? Load Project Blue on it, or buy it preloaded, and just hook up a sensor to it, real simple. Use Project Blue to capture that data. Now you can use your computer to analyze it or whatever, but at least capture it with Project Blue with a few clicks, right? So this basic IDE is very powerful, and the things you can do with it is it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's not like uploading an an Arduino sketch, right? You can only have one sketch running on your board at a time. But with Project Blue, you have all these apps, right? So you have your text editor, JPEG viewer, audio player, file explorer with the Wi-Fi function, calculator. Oh, we didn't do the calculator yet. So let's close this. This is the calculator. Yeah, it actually does. Let's see, sin and cost and tan and stuff like that. So I want to make it into a scientific calculator, but as you can see, there's still some issues. But let's say 10% times 100%. So 6 times 6. Let's start over. 6 times 6 equals. Here we go. So it does work, but we have a calculator in Project Blue. Can't have a desktop without a calculator. So, and it's resizable too. I'm not sure the Windows calculator was resizable. Interesting. But 25 divided by 2. So, yeah, I mean, it does work, but yeah, we have all this stuff now. We have 4 games, not one. We have 4, high FPS, and we have system test utility, which is key. Now we're going to build this out too. We're going to add some more stuff. And the basic ID, which is like a precursor to board clone, right? And that's important. But this text editor keeps getting, we're doing AA now, like, I mean, Jesus, man. True type fonts on your microcontroller, right? On the ESP32S3, and all these functions. You can even cut and paste the true type. I'm going to do the copy function. Paste. Right, so go down, paste some more. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It is just incredible. So Project Blue now has been, I think we've stabilized. Like, I think the architecture is now stabilized, and the proof is in the pudding, and the proof is these games, right? So very high FPS. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is definitely in the pudding. That's how much PS RAM. So 8 megabytes. We still have close to 6 megabytes left. Wow. And can we make it bigger? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Smaller, bigger. Yeah. Yes, we can. Can we play music again? Move it around. Load. Music. Remember Bananarama from the 80s? I love that group. And the stop actually stops. So we had a buffer issue before. Now I force it on both sides and I sync it. So it's Project Blue. This is update number 8, and I apologize for not being here for 2 months. I've had some nightmares of the nightmares of the nightmares, and somehow pulled through it by the grace of God. Thank you, Lord. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this, because I'm gonna try to get it in your hands, so that you can play with it now that the basic ID is there, because then you can program in basic. I mean, that's what the whole idea of the board is for, is to use the peripherals, right? So now you can access the peripherals to Project Blue. And I didn't feel very good without having that before you do an initial beta or alpha release, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this this update. I tried to make it as fast as I can. I didn't want it to go into like hours and stuff and make it boring. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. Your File Explorer now has a Wi-Fi server, so you can move files between your computer and the board, right? And soon, other things as well. And I mean, point and click. I think even Windows Explorer doesn't have a Wi-Fi server, so, or maybe it does. Maybe I don't know. And the JPEG viewer, I'm going to make it add functionality, but like I said, we're focused on the base, and the architecture, the underlying architecture was the most important thing for the games. Star Patrol, and man, I'm trying to add a big boss at the end of each level for Star Patrol, so when you finish the killing the enemies for each, a unique boss comes up, because all the ships that come up here is never the same. It's procedurally generated, so it's different every time. So you're not going to get too much bored with it if you ever want to play with it. And add some bosses and stuff, but that's proving to be challenging. But hopefully I'll get that done for the next release. But Project Blue is still alive, and I'm still alive. It's kind of strange. But look what's come out of it. I mean, yeah, we got some games now at high FPS and stable system, and yeah, who would have thought that the ESP32S3 can do all this? So I really hope Expressive sees this video and sees, what a nice, cool little thing that they put out. But I think with the basic ID, it's now that we can call these functions directly, system functions directly from our basic ID. It's key. That's absolute key. Anyways, wishing you guys the best for your Christmas holiday. I'm gonna try my best to do another update with some really cool stuff for Christmas, before Christmas, to get that out. But I don't know. Things are still very dark for me and my daughter. So let's see if there's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe we can have a good Christmas. You never know. But my thoughts are to get this out. Either you can buy the board with it on it, or download the code. I haven't decided yet. But I want to get it out. People start play with it. Whoever's interested, if if anybody's interested. Maybe nobody's interested. But I think the basic IDE, add board clone and stuff, demonstrate that. That's going to be challenging though, because my living situation is not very good. But hopefully it will improve. So all I have left to say is God bless and have a good night.